The stars above the planet Kever were burning. Ships exploded in the darkness of space like flowers made of fire. Queen Vela watched from the window of her royal vessel as her entire fleet died around her. She had ruled the Nuri Empire for 300 years. She had seen wars. She had seen death. But she had never seen betrayal like this. Her own advisors had done this. Her own people had sold her location to the Kasari, a violent species that wanted the Nuri throne for themselves. The attack had come without warning. One moment, Vela was traveling to a peace conference. The next moment, missiles were tearing through her ship like claws through paper. Vela was tall, even for a Nuri. Her skin was the color of deep ocean water, blue and green mixed together. 4 eyes sat on her face, 2 large ones in the front and 2 smaller ones on the sides. Her hands had 6 fingers each, long and thin. A crown of living crystal grew from her head, marking her as royalty. It glowed softly in the emergency lights of her dying ship. "My queen, we must evacuate," said her guard captain, a Nuri male named Tovan. His voice was calm, but his 4 eyes showed fear. "The ship will not survive." Vela looked at him. She had known Tovan for 50 years. He was loyal. He was brave. But even he could not save her now. "Where will we go?" she asked. Her voice was like music, soft and flowing. All Nuri voices sounded this way. "The escape pods will be shot down the moment they launch." "There is a planet below," Tovan said. "Kever. It is mostly empty. Old mining colonies. We can hide there until rescue comes." Vela knew this was a small hope. The traders would make sure no rescue came. But dying in space was certain. Dying on a planet was only probable. She chose the smaller death. "Prepare my pod," she said. The escape pod was small, built for only 1 person. Vela climbed inside and felt the door close behind her. Through the tiny window, she watched her ship break apart. She watched Tovan's pod launch moments after hers. Then she watched as a Kasari fighter found him and turned his pod into dust. Vela closed all 4 of her eyes. Tovan was dead. Her fleet was dead. Her empire was falling, and she was alone. The pod entered the atmosphere of Kever. Fire surrounded her. The pod shook so hard that Vela thought her bones would break. Then, suddenly, everything went wrong. A piece of debris from her ship struck the pod. Alarm screamed. The navigation system died. The pod was no longer flying. It was falling. Vela hit the ground like a meteor. The impact was beyond anything she had felt before. Metal screamed and bent. Rock and dirt exploded around her. The pod rolled and tumbled, crashing through old buildings, through walls, through everything in its path. When it finally stopped, Vela was buried. She opened her eyes slowly. Everything hurt. Her left leg was trapped under a massive piece of metal. Her arm was bent in a way that arms should not bend. Blue-green blood, the blood of Nuri royalty, pooled beneath her body. She tried to move, but the pain was too much. "Help!" she called out. Her voice echoed in the darkness. "Someone help me?" But no one answered. She was alone on a dead planet, buried under the ruins of her own escape pod and what looked like an old mining facility. Above her, she could see a small hole in the debris. Starlight came through it. The stars looked cold and far away. Vela had never felt fear like this. She was a queen. She had armies. She had power. But here, trapped and bleeding, she was nothing. Just a dying creature in the dark. She thought about her life. 300 years of rule. 300 years of making decisions that affected billions of lives. Had she been a good queen? She did not know. She had tried to be fair. She had tried to be wise. But power always came with mistakes. She had made enemies. She had trusted the wrong people. And now those wrong people had killed her. Time passed. Vela did not know how much. Hours, maybe. The blood kept flowing from her wounds. She could feel herself getting weaker. The glow of her crystal crown grew dim. When Anuri was dying, their crown showed it. Hers was showing it now. She heard something dot at first. She thought it was her imagination. A sound in the darkness. Footsteps, maybe. Or falling rocks. But then she heard it again, and she knew it was real. Someone was moving in the ruins above her. Hello? She called out. Her voice was weak now. Is someone there? The footsteps stopped. Then they started again, coming closer. Vela's heart beat faster. She had two hearts like all Nuri. Both of them were racing now. A light appeared in the hole above her. A small, bright light. A flashlight, she realized. Someone was up there with a flashlight. The light moved around, searching. Then it found her. What the hell? Said a voice. It was a strange voice. Rough and tired. Not a Nuri voice. Not a Kasari voice either. Something else. A face appeared in the hole. Vela looked at it with all four of her eyes. It was a human face. She had seen humans before, but only in pictures and videos. They were a young species, only recently arrived in the galaxy. They had small eyes, only two of them. Their skin came in different colors. This one had skin the color of sand and hair the color of night. The human stared at her. He looked surprised. Then he looked at the debris around her, at the blood pooling beneath her, at her trapped leg. His expression changed. The surprise became something else. Concern, maybe. Or pity. You're hurt, he said. His words were simple, direct. Yes, Vela answered. She did not know why she was talking to him. Humans were neutral in galactic politics. They had no reason to help her. They had no reason to hurt her either. They were just there, a small species on the edge of known space. The human looked around. He seemed to be thinking. Then he started to climb down through the hole. Wait, Vela said. The structure is unstable. You could be killed. So could you, the human said. He kept climbing. Vela watched him descend. He moved carefully, testing each piece of debris before putting his weight on it. When he got closer, she could see him better. He was wearing a military uniform, torn and dirty. His left arm hung at a strange angle, clearly broken. There was blood on his face, human blood, red like fire. He was injured too. He had been in some kind of battle or accident. Yet here he was, climbing down to help her. The human reached the bottom and moved toward her. He knelt beside her and looked at the metal trapping her leg. He touched it carefully, testing its weight. This is heavy, he said. Really heavy. I know, Vela said. I have been trying to move it for hours. The human looked at his broken arm. Then he looked at the metal again. He seemed to be calculating something. My name is Do-Yoon, he said. Do-Yoon Park. I'm a sergeant in the Earth Defense Force. My ship crashed here 3 days ago. I've been surviving in these ruins. I am Vela, she said. She did not mention that she was a queen. It seemed unimportant now. My ship was destroyed in orbit. I escaped in a pod, but it crashed. Yeah, I saw the crash, Do-Yoon said. That's why I came. Thought someone might need help. He looked at her wounds again. You need a lot of help. Vela did not know what to say. In her experience, no one helped anyone without wanting something in return. That was how the galaxy worked. Power and deals and trades. Why? She asked. Do-Yoon looked confused. Why what? Why did you come? Why are you helping me? You do not know me. You owe me nothing. And you are injured yourself. You should be resting, healing, not climbing through dangerous ruins to help a stranger. The human was quiet for a moment. He seemed to be thinking about the question. Then he shrugged, a simple human gesture that Vala had seen in videos. Because you needed help, he said. That's it. That's the whole reason. Vala stared at him. In 300 years of life, she had never heard anyone say something like that. Because you needed help. As if that was enough. As if that was a complete explanation. Do-hyun turned his attention back to the metal on her leg. He grabbed it with his one good hand and pulled. The metal did not move. He pulled harder. His face turned red with effort. Veins stood out on his neck. But the metal was too heavy. He stopped, breathing hard. His broken arm was trembling with pain. Vala could see that every movement hurt him. You cannot move it, she said. You are too weak. Your arm is broken. You should leave before this place collapses completely. No, Do-hyun said. No, I'm not leaving. He looked at her with his small human eyes. They were dark brown, almost black. There was something in them that Vala did not recognize. Something strong and stubborn. I'm going to get you out of here. I just need to think. He sat back and looked around the debris. He was planning something. Vala could see his mind working behind those strange human eyes. Outside, in the distance, Vala heard a sound. Ships. The sound of ships landing. Her heart froze. The Kasari, she whispered. They have come to find me. To make sure I am dead. Do-hyun looked toward the sound. His expression hardened. How many? I do not know. But enough to kill us both. Vala looked at him. You must go. Now. Hide somewhere. They are not looking for you. They do not even know you exist. You can survive if you leave me. Do-hyun did not move. Did you hear me? Vala said, you must go. This is not your fight. I am not your queen. I am not your friend. I am just a stranger who's going to die. There is no reason for you to die with me. Still, Do-hyun did not move. He sat there, looking at her, his broken arm cradled against his chest. The sound of ships grew louder. Time was running out. I heard you, he finally said. But I'm not leaving. Why? Vala demanded. Why would you stay? Why would you die for someone you do not know? Do-hyun smiled. The cum unit on Do-hyun's belt crackled to life. Static first, then voices. Human voices. Sergeant Park, this is Captain Yuna Kim. Do you copy? We have tracked your location. Rescue shuttle is 15 minutes out. Respond immediately. Do-hyun looked at the cum unit. Then he looked at Vala. The alien queen was watching him with all four of her eyes. Her blue-green skin had grown pale. Her crystal crown barely glowed at all. She was dying, and they both knew it. Your people, Vala said. They are coming for you. Yes, Do-hyun said. You should answer them. Tell them where you are. They will save you. Do-hyun picked up the cum unit. His thumb hovered over the button. 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, a shuttle would land, pick him up, and take him away from this dead planet. Away from the Kasari warriors, who were even now searching the ruins for the alien queen. Away from danger. Away from death. All he had to do was press the button. Sergeant Park, respond. We are detecting multiple unknown vessels in your area. Possibly hostile. Repeat, possibly hostile. We need your location now. Vala reached out with her unbroken arm. Her six-fingered hand touched his knee gently. Her skin was cool, like water. Answer them, she said. Please. You have done more for me than anyone has in centuries. You came when you did not have to come. You stayed when you did not have to stay. But this is enough. You do not need to die for me. I am already dead. My wounds are too deep. Even if you freed me, I would not survive. So please, answer your people. Go home. Live. Dahyun looked at her hand on his knee. Such a strange hand. 6 fingers instead of 5. Blue skin instead of brown. And yet, somehow it felt no different from any other hand asking for kindness. Can you walk? He asked. What? If I get this metal off your leg, can you walk? Vila blinked her 4 eyes. I do not know. Maybe. For a short time. But my wounds. Can you walk? Yes or no? She was quiet for a moment. Then, slowly, she nodded. Yes, for a short time. But it does not matter. You cannot move the metal. We have already tried. Dahyun stood up. He looked around the debris, searching for something. His broken arm screamed with pain, but he ignored it. Pain was just a feeling. Feelings could be pushed aside. There, he said. He pointed to a long piece of metal, thin and strong. A pipe from the old mining facility. I can use that as a lever. If I can get it under the metal on your leg, I might be able to lift it. Your arm is broken, Vila said. You cannot. I have another arm. He walked to the pipe and grabbed it with his good hand. It was heavy, but he could manage. He dragged it back to Vila and wedged one end under the massive piece of metal trapping her leg. The comm unit crackled again. Sergeant Park, we are beginning descent. 12 minutes to landing zone. If you do not respond in the next 2 minutes, we will assume you are unable to communicate and will proceed with standard search and rescue protocol. They will land in the open, Vela said. Her voice was urgent now. The Kasari will see them. They will attack. Your people will die trying to save you. Dahyun knew she was right. If the shuttle landed near the Kasari forces, it would be destroyed. Captain Kim and her crew would die. Because of him. Because he did not answer. He pressed the button on the comm unit. Captain Kim, this is Sergeant Park. I copy. Sergeant. Thank the stars. What is your status? I am alive. Minor injuries. He looked at his broken arm and almost laughed. Minor. Right. But you need to abort the landing. There are hostile forces in the area. Repeat, hostile forces. If you land, you will be attacked. There was a pause. Then Captain Kim's voice came back, hotter now. Sergeant, we are not leaving you behind. Give us your coordinates. We will extract you under fire if necessary. No, Dahyun said. The hostiles are not looking for me. They are looking for someone else. If you land, you will draw their attention. They will find me. Right now, I am hidden. I am safe. If you want to save me, stay away. Sergeant, that is not. Captain, I am giving you a direct tactical assessment. Landing now will result in casualties. Stay in orbit. Wait for the hostiles to leave. Then come back for me. Another pause. Longer this time. Dahyun could imagine Captain Kim on the shuttle, arguing with her crew. She was a good officer. She did not like leaving people behind. But she was also smart. She knew when a situation was too dangerous. How long? She finally asked. Dahyun looked at Vela. The Queen was staring at him with an expression he could not read. I do not know, he said. Could be hours. Could be days. But I will survive. I have survived this long. I can survive longer. Sergeant. Captain Kim's voice was softer now, worried. What are you not telling me? Dahyun closed his eyes for a moment. He thought about his family back on Earth. His mother, who made the best food in the whole city. His father, who had been a soldier before him. His little sister Minji, who always cried when he left for deployment. He thought about never seeing them again. Then he opened his eyes and looked at Vila, a stranger, an alien, someone who meant nothing to him and to whom he meant nothing. But she was hurt. She was trapped. She was alone. And he could not leave her. I am doing what I have to do, he said into the com. Trust me, Captain. Stay away until it is safe. Doyen. Captain Kim used his first name now. They had served together for years. She was not just his captain. She was his friend. Please tell me you are not doing something stupid. He smiled, even though she could not see it. I am always doing something stupid. You know that. Damn it, Doyen. Stay safe, Captain. I will contact you when the area is clear. He turned off the comm before she could respond. Then he looked at Vila. The queen was crying. Tears ran down her blue-green face, strange tears that glowed faintly in the darkness. Nuri tears, he realized. Even their tears were different. Why? She whispered. You just told your people to leave. You just gave up your rescue. Why would you do that? Because if they landed, they would die, Doyen said. And because we are not done here. I told you I would get you out, and I meant it. He grabbed the pipe with his good hand and pushed down. The metal on Vila's leg shifted slightly. Not enough. He pushed harder. His muscles burned. His broken arm sent bolts of agony through his body. But he kept pushing. You are hurting yourself, Vila said. I know. Stop. Please. You will make your injuries worse. Probably. The metal shifted more. An inch, then 2 inches. Vela gasped as the pressure on her leg decreased. Blood flowed faster from her wounds, but she could feel her leg again. She could move it. Dohyun was shaking now. Sweat poured down his face. His vision was going gray at the edges. But he kept pushing. The pipe bent under the strain. The metal lifted higher. Now, he gasped. Pull your leg out, now. Vela grabbed a piece of debris with her good arm and pulled herself backward. Her leg scraped against rock and metal. The pain was terrible, worse than anything she had felt before. But inch by inch she moved. Inch by inch, she pulled herself free. And then, suddenly, she was out. Dahyun let go of the pipe. The metal crashed back down, missing Vela's leg by inches. He collapsed against the wall, breathing hard, his whole body trembling with exhaustion and pain. You did it, Vela said. She could not believe it. You actually did it. Dohyun managed a weak smile. Told you. But they were not safe yet. Outside, the sound of the Kasari search parties was getting closer. Voices in a harsh, clicking language. Boots on rubble. They were searching the ruins, building by building. Sooner or later, they would find this place. Vila tried to stand. Her legs screamed in protest, but it held her weight. Barely. She would not be able to walk far. We need to hide, Dohyun said. He was still sitting against the wall, too exhausted to move. There must be somewhere in these ruins. A basement. A bunker. Somewhere they will not look. Vila thought about the mining facilities she had seen in records. Old Nori colonies had used planets like Kever for resources centuries ago. The mining operations went deep underground. There'd be tunnels, chambers, places to hide. Help me, she said, reaching out her hand. I can walk, but not well. If you support me, we can move faster. Dohyun looked at her hand. Then he laughed. It was a strange sound, tired and broken, but real. You want me to support you? Lady, I can barely support myself. Then we will support each other. She grabbed his good arm and pulled him to his feet. He leaned against her, and she leaned against him. Two broken creatures, holding each other up. This is crazy, Dohyun said. Yes, Vela agreed. We are probably going to die. Yes, okay then. He took a deep breath. Which way? Vila looked around with her 4 eyes. She could see better in the dark than humans could. There, in the corner of the debris field, she spotted an opening. A tunnel entrance, half buried by rock and metal. There, she said. That leads down. into the old mines. They started moving. Every step was agony. Vala's leg threatened to collapse. Dohyun's arm sent waves of pain through his body. But they kept going, step by step. Inch by inch, the voices of the Kasari grew louder. Lights flickered in the ruins behind them. The search was getting closer. Faster, Dohyun said. I am trying. They reached the tunnel entrance and squeezed through the gap. Inside, the darkness was complete. Dohyun fumbled for his flashlight and turned it on. The beam cut through the black, revealing an old mining shaft. Rails on the floor. Support beams on the walls. A path leading down into the earth. Behind them, they heard a shout. Kasari words, harsh and excited. Someone had found the place where Vala's pod had crashed. Someone had seen the blood on the ground. They know I am alive, Vala whispered. 3 days passed in the darkness of the old mine. Vala drifted in and out of consciousness. Her wounds were deep, and her body was trying desperately to heal itself. Nori biology was stronger than human biology in many ways. They could survive injuries that would kill other species. But even Nuri had limits. Every time she woke up, Dohyun was there. He had found water in the old equipment room. Bottles of it, left behind by miners who had abandoned this place long ago. The water was stale but safe to drink. He had also found old ration packs, their contents strange and probably not meant for human stomachs. But he ate them anyway. He gave the best ones to Vala. You need to eat, he said, pressing a ration pack into her hand. Your body is trying to heal. It needs energy. Vala looked at the pack. Then she looked at him. His face was thinner than before, pale, tired. He was not eating enough. He was giving his food to her. You need this more than I do, she said. I am fine. You are lying. Dohyun shrugged. Maybe, but you are the one with the big hole in your leg. Eat. She ate, not because she was hungry, but because arguing with him was pointless. In 3 days, she had learned that Dojun Park was the most stubborn creature in the galaxy. When she finished eating, she leaned back against the wall and watched him. He was doing something with his broken arm, wrapping it tighter with strips of cloth torn from his uniform. His face showed no pain, but she knew he was hurting. She could see it in the way he moved. Tell me about your world, she said. Dohyun looked up. My world? Earth. I have read about it in reports, but I have never been there. What is it like? He was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then he smiled, and for the first time since she had met him, the smile reached his eyes. It is beautiful, he said. Green and blue, like your skin. There are oceans so big you cannot see the other side. Mountains so tall they touch the clouds. Forests so thick the sun cannot reach the ground. It sounds wonderful. It is. It is. And it is terrible. We have wars, pollution, poverty, people who hurt each other for no reason. He shrugged. But that is life, I guess. Good and bad mixed together. Vala nodded slowly. The Nuri homeworld is similar. Beautiful and terrible. We like to think we are civilized, but we have our own darkness. Every species does. Yes, but some more than others. She paused, thinking about how to say what she wanted to say. The Khazari, for example. They believe that strength is the only virtue. That the powerful should rule the weak. That mercy is foolishness. Sounds like some humans I know. Vala looked at him with all 4 eyes. But you were not like that. You saved me. You stayed with me. A Kasari would never do that. They would have left me to die. They would have called it natural selection. Dahan was quiet for a long moment. He finished wrapping his arm and tested the bandage. Then he looked at her. Can I tell you something? He asked. Of course. When I first saw you in that wreckage, my first thought was to run. Vala blinked. What? I am serious. You are an alien. A species I had never seen before. Covered in blood, trapped under debris, on a planet full of hostile forces. Every survival instinct I have was screaming at me to get away, to hide, to let you deal with your own problems. Then why did you not run? Dain smiled again, but this time it was sad. Because when I looked at you, I did not see an alien. I saw someone who was hurt, someone who was scared, someone who needed help. He shook his head. I could not walk away from that. It is not who I am. It is not who I want to be. Vila did not know what to say. In 300 years of ruling an empire, she had met thousands of people. Politicians, generals, diplomats. All of them had agendas. All of them wanted something. Power, wealth, influence. Nobody did anything without expecting something in return. But this human, this strange creature from a small world on the edge of the galaxy, had saved her for nothing. He had given up his rescue for nothing. He was dying slowly in this darkness for nothing, just because he could not walk away from someone who needed help. You are extraordinary, she said finally. Dahyun laughed. Me? I am just a soldier. Nothing special. No, you are wrong. Vila pushed herself up, ignoring the pain in her leg. She wanted to look at him properly. She wanted him to understand what she was saying. I have ruled an empire for 300 years. I have met the greatest leaders, the wisest scholars, the bravest warriors of a dozen species. And I have never met anyone like you. Dahin looked uncomfortable. You are making a big deal out of nothing. No, I'm not. She reached out and took his hand with her 6-fingered one. You do not understand what you have done. You do not understand how rare it is. I helped you. That is all. That is everything. Vila felt tears forming in her 4 eyes. In the galaxy I know, no one helps strangers. No one risks their life for someone they just met. Everyone calculates. Everyone measures cost against benefit. Everyone asks, what is in it for me? Sounds lonely. It is. It is. It is very lonely. The tears fell now, glowing softly in the darkness. I am a queen, Dahyun. I have power beyond what you can imagine. I have wealth, influence, authority. But I do not have a single person I can trust. Not one. My own advisors betrayed me. My own guards sold my location to my enemies. Everyone around me wants something from me. That is terrible. It is normal. That is what makes it so terrible. It is normal, and everyone accepts it. She squeezed his hand. But you changed everything. You made me realize that it does not have to be this way. That there are people in the galaxy who do things simply because they are right. Dahyun was quiet. He looked at her hand on his alien fingers wrapped around human ones. 2 species that had barely met, connected in the darkness of an abandoned mine. You know, he said finally, back on Earth, we have a word for what you are describing. What word? Humanity. He smiled. It means being humane, kind, compassionate. It is supposed to describe what is best about our species. The part of us that cares about others, even when it is not logical. Even when it costs us something. Humanity, Vela repeated. The word felt strange on her tongue. It is a beautiful word. We do not always live up to it. Actually, we usually do not. But we keep trying. That is the important part. We keep trying. Vila nodded slowly. The Nuri have a similar concept. We call it Shelvari. It means the choice to stand with others. The decision to not be alone. Shelvari. I like that. It was supposed to be the foundation of our empire. The idea that we are stronger together than apart. But somewhere along the way, we forgot what it meant. We turned it into a political tool. A way to control people instead of connect with them. That happens, Do-hyun said. Ideas get twisted. Meanings get lost. But the core remains. Somewhere underneath all the politics and power, the truth is still there. Vila looked at him with wonder. This human, this simple soldier, understood something that her wisest advisors had never grasped. The truth was still there. It just needed someone to remember it. A sound came from above. Distant, muffled. The Kasari were still searching. They had not given up. They will find us eventually, Vela said. This mine is not infinite. Sooner or later, they will search here. Probably. You should contact your people again. Tell them to send a shuttle. You might still have time to escape. Do-hyun shook his head. We have been over this. I know. But things have changed. I am stronger now. My wounds are starting to heal. If you leave, I might be able to hide on my own. I might survive. Might is not good enough. It is better than nothing. No. Do-hyun looked at her, and his eyes were hard. Determined. I told you, I am not leaving. I meant it then, and I mean it now. We survive together, or we die together. There is no other option. Vila stared at him. In that moment, she understood why humans terrified the galaxy. It was not their weapons. It was not their technology. It was not their armies, or their ships, or their strategic brilliance. It was this impossible, irrational, beautiful stubbornness. This refusal to abandon others. This willingness to die for people they had just met. The galaxy was full of powerful species. The Kasari with their armadas. The Vorix with their technology. The Nuri with their ancient wisdom. But none of them had this. None of them had humanity. Your species, Vela said slowly, is the most dangerous thing I have ever encountered. Do-hyun blinked. What? You heard me. Dangerous. Not because you are strong or smart or ruthless, but because you care. Because you form bonds that cannot be broken. Because you refuse to give up on each other. I am not sure if that is a compliment. It is. It is. The highest compliment I can give. Vela leaned forward, her 4 eyes locked on his 2. The Gazari think strength comes from power. The Vorix think it comes from knowledge. The Nuri think it comes from order. But you understand something we have all forgotten. Strength comes from connection. From the bonds between people. From the choice to stand with others, no matter the cost. Do-hyun was silent. He seemed to be processing what she had said. My grandmother would agree with you, he said finally. She always said that the strongest thing in the world is a family that loves each other. Your grandmother sounds wise. She was. She died 3 years ago. He smiled, but there was sadness in it. She would have liked you, I think. She always. I am not dead. I am alive because of this human. Now send the shuttle. He does not have much time. We are on our way. Hold on. Viola dropped a comm unit, and the medical bay of the Earth Defense Force ship Bright Star was small but efficient. White walls, clean floors, machines that beeped and hummed with quiet purpose. Do-hyun lay in a bed at the center of it, connected to tubes and wires that kept him alive. He had been unconscious for 2 days. Vila had not left his side. The human doctors had been surprised when she refused to leave. They had offered her a private room, medical treatment, anything she wanted. She was a queen, after all. The queen of the Nuri Empire. One of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. She deserved special treatment, but she had refused everything except a chair beside Do-hyun's bed. I will stay here, she had said, until he wakes up. The doctors had learned quickly that arguing with a Nuri queen was pointless. They let her stay. Captain Yuna Kim came to visit on the 2nd day. She was a tall woman with short black hair and sharp eyes. She had known Do Yun for years, served with him, trusted him, and now she stood beside his bed and looked at his broken body with tears in her eyes. "The doctors say he will live," she said. "His injuries were severe, but humans are resilient. He should make a full recovery." Vila nodded. She had already heard this from the doctors, but hearing it again was good. She needed to hear it again. "He saved my life," Vela said. "More than once. He refused to leave me, even when leaving was the smart thing to do." Captain Kim smiled sadly. "That sounds like Doyen. He always was stubborn. Is that a human trait? Stubbornness? Some of us, the good ones." Captain Kim looked at Vila with curious eyes. "May I ask you something, Your Majesty?" "Of course. Why did you stay?" "Here, I mean. In this room. You have important things to do. Your empire is in chaos. Your enemies are celebrating your death. There are 1,000 places you should be right now. But instead, you are here, sitting by the bed of a human soldier. Why?" Vila was quiet for a moment. She looked at Dohin's face, peaceful in sleep. His injuries had been cleaned and bandaged. The machines were keeping him stable. He looked almost normal now. Almost healthy. "Do you know what he said to me?" Vila asked. "When I was trapped under that debris. When I told him to leave. When I begged him to save himself. What did he say?" "He said, 'I will not leave you.'" Vela's voice trembled slightly. 4 words. Simple words. But they changed everything. Captain Kim nodded slowly. "He meant them?" "Do-hyun always means what he says." "I know. That is why I am here." Vila turned to face the captain. "In 300 years of life, I have never met anyone who meant what they said. Not truly. Everyone lies. Everyone schemes. Everyone calculates. But your soldier, he was different. He said he would not leave me, and he did not leave me. Even when it should have killed him. Even when there was no logical reason to stay. That is just who he is. Yes, and that is why the galaxy should be afraid." Captain Kim raised an eyebrow. "Afraid? Of Doyen?" "Not of him specifically. Of what he represents." Vila stood up and walked to the window. Outside, stars drifted by. The ship was traveling through space, heading back to human territory. "Your species is new to the galaxy. Young. Inexperienced. Most of the older powers do not take you seriously. They see you as primitives. Children playing at civilization. We are aware of our reputation. But they are wrong. They do not understand what you are." Vila turned back to the captain. "The Kasaria warriors. They fight for conquest and glory. The Nuri are schemers. We fight for power and influence. The Vorics are scientists. They fight for knowledge and control. But humans fight for each other. For connections. For bonds that cannot be broken. Is that a bad thing? No. It is the most dangerous thing in the galaxy." Vela's 4 eyes gleamed in the light. "Because it cannot be bought. It cannot be threatened. It cannot be controlled. When a human decides to protect someone, nothing will stop them. Not pain, not death. Not the combined might of every empire in existence." Captain Kim was silent for a long moment. She seemed to be thinking about Vila's words. "My grandmother used to say something similar," she said finally. "She called it love. The strongest force in the universe." "Love," Vela repeated. Another beautiful human word. A sound came from the bed. A groan. A mumble. Both women turned to look. Do-hyun was waking up. His eyes opened slowly, blinking against the light. He looked confused at first, uncertain where he was. Then he saw Vila, and he smiled. "You are still here," he said. His voice was weak, scratchy. "I told you I would not leave," Vela said. I meant it. Do-hyun laughed, then winced as the movement hurt his injuries. See? You are already learning from us. Captain Kim stepped forward. Welcome back, Sergeant. You gave us quite a scare, Captain. Do-hyun tried to salute but could not lift his arm. Sorry, I seem to be broken. You are forgiven. Considering you killed 12 Kasari warriors with a broken arm and a half-empty pistol, I think we can overlook a few missed salutes. 12? Do-hyun looked at Vila. Was it really 12? 12 warriors, Vila confirmed. Plus the ones I shot. You became a legend that day, Do-hyun Park. I do not want to be a legend. I just want some food. I am starving. The tension in the room broke. Everyone laughed. It felt good to laugh. It felt normal. Over the next few weeks, Do-hyun recovered. His body healed, slowly but surely. Human medicine combined with Nuri technology made the process faster than expected. Soon he was able to walk. Then to exercise. Then to train. Vila stayed on the ship the entire time. The galaxy thought she was dead, and she let them think it. For now, she needed time to plan. Time to rebuild her power base. Time to figure out how to take back her throne from the traitors who had stolen it. But she also needed something else. Something she had never had before. A friend. Do-hyun became that friend. They talked for hours every day. About their lives. Their worlds. Their hopes and fears. He told her about Earth, about his family, about the little things that made humans human. She told him about the Nuri Empire, about her centuries of rule, about the loneliness of power. They understood each other in a way that neither had expected. Two beings from different worlds, different species, different lives, but connected now, bonded by something stronger than politics or duty. The day came when the bright star reached Earth's solar system. Do-hyun stood at the window, looking at the pale blue dot that was his home. His eyes were wet. It is beautiful, Vila said, standing beside him. It is home, Do-hyun said. There is nothing more beautiful than that. I envy you. I do not know if I have a home anymore. Do-hyun turned to her. You do now. If you want it. What do you mean? I mean you are welcome here. On Earth. With us. He smiled. My mother has already heard about you. She is preparing a feast. She says anyone who kept her son alive deserves to be fed until they cannot move. Vila laughed. It was a sound she had not made often in 300 years. Your mother sounds formidable. She is. In the best way. They stood in silence for a moment, watching Earth grow larger in the window. What will happen now? Do-hyun asked. With your empire. With the traitors. I do not know, Vila admitted. I need to reclaim my throne. Punish those who betrayed me. Restore order. But I do not want to do it alone anymore. You will not be alone. She looked at him. What do you mean? I mean, humanity owes you nothing, but we are going to help you anyway. That is what we do. He grinned. Besides, you still owe me dinner. I am not letting you die before you pay up. I do not remember agreeing to dinner. You agreed. Trust me. Vila shook her head, but she was smiling. Humans are very strange. The strangest. Get used to it. 1 month later, Vila stood before the Galactic Council. The Council was the governing body of known space. Representatives from every major species sat in a vast chamber, their seats arranged in a circle around a central platform. The Kasari were there. The Vorks, the Threen, a dozen other species, all powerful, all important, all staring at the Queen, who was supposed to be dead. I am Queen Vela of the Nuri Empire, she said. Her voice echoed through the chamber. I am alive. I am returned. And I am here to tell you what happened on the planet Kever. Murmurs filled the room. The Kasari representatives shifted uncomfortably. They had thought their secret was safe. They had thought no one would ever know. I was betrayed, Vela continued. My own advisors sold my location to the Kasari. My ship was destroyed. My guards were killed. I was left to die in the ruins of an abandoned mining colony. These are serious accusations, said the Vorix representative, a creature of pure energy held in a containment field. Do you have proof? I have something better than proof. Vela gestured to the entrance of the chamber. I have a witness. The doors opened. Do-Yoon Park walked in. He was wearing his Earth Defense Force uniform, cleaned and pressed. His arm was still in a sling, but he walked with his head high. Behind him came Captain Kim and a squad of human soldiers. The chamber fell silent. This is Sergeant Do-Hyun Park of Earth, Vela said. He found me in those ruins. He saved my life. He fought 12 Kasari warriors with a broken arm and refused to leave my side. He's the reason I am alive today. The representatives stared at the human. Most of them had never seen an Earthling before. Humans were so new, so small, so unimportant. What could one of them possibly have done that mattered? Sergeant Park, Vela continued, please tell the council. The Kasari found them on the fourth day. Vela heard them first. Her Nuri ears were sharper than human ears, able to pick up sounds that Do-Hyun could not hear. Footsteps in the tunnel. Many of them. Coming closer. They are here, she whispered. Do-Hyun was already awake. He had barely slept in 4 days, keeping watch, rationing food and water, tending to Vela's wounds. His eyes were sunken, his skin pale, his body running on nothing but willpower. But when she said those words, he changed. His posture straightened. His eyes sharpened. The exhausted man disappeared, and a soldier took his place. How many? He asked. Vela closed her eyes and listened. The footsteps were hard to count. They echoed off the stone walls, multiplying and overlapping. But she could make an estimate. At least 12, she said. Maybe more? Weapons? Kasari warriors carry plasma rifles and shock blades. Standard equipment. Do-Hyun nodded. He reached into his belt and pulled out his sidearm. A standard Earth Defense Force pistol. 15 rounds in the magazine. He had not fired it yet. He had been saving it. That weapon will not stop a Kasari warrior, Vela said. Their armor is too strong. I know. You will die. Probably. He checked the pistol, making sure it was loaded and ready. His movements were calm, professional. He had done this before. Vela grabbed his arm. Do-Hyun, listen to me. You cannot fight 12 Kasari warriors. It is impossible. You need to run. There are other tunnels in this mine. You could hide. You could escape. They are looking for me, not you. We have been over this. I know, but this is different. Before, there was hope. Now there is none. If you stay and fight, you will die. There is no other outcome. Do-Hyun looked at her. His eyes were tired but calm. Peaceful, almost. Like he had already accepted what was about to happen. You know, he said, my father was a soldier too. He served for 30 years. Fought in 3 wars. And he told me something once that I never forgot. What did he tell you? He said that every soldier has a moment. A moment when they have to choose what kind of person they are going to be. Run or fight. Survive or protect. Save yourself or save others. Do-Hyun smiled. He said the choice defines you. Forever. No matter what happens after, that moment is who you are. And you choose to fight. I choose to protect you. He squeezed her hand with his good one. I know I cannot win. I know I am going to die. But if I can buy you even a few minutes, if I can give you a chance to escape, then it is worth it. Vela felt tears forming in her eyes again. That is insane. Maybe, but it is who I am. The footsteps were very close now. Lights flickered in the tunnel outside. Voices spoke in the harsh, clicking Kasari language. They had found the chamber. Duhayan stood up and walked to the door. He positioned himself in front of it, blocking the way. His broken arm hung uselessly at his side. His good arm held the pistol, steady and sure. "Stay behind those crates," he said without looking back. "When the fighting starts, look for another way out. A vent, a crack in the wall, anything, and run. Do not stop. Do not look back. Just run. Doyun, promise me." Vila hesitated. She did not want to promise. She did not want to leave him. But she saw the determination in his stance. He would not move. He would not change his mind. The only thing she could do was honor his sacrifice. "I promise," she said. "Good." He took a deep breath. "It was nice meeting you, Queen Vila. It was nice meeting you too, Sergeant Doyun Park." The door exploded. Kasari warriors poured into the room. They were tall, almost as tall as Nuri, but broader, covered in black armor that gleamed in the light of their weapons. Their faces were hidden behind helmets, but Vela could imagine their expressions. Triumph, bloodlust, victory. They had found their prey. Doyun fired. The first shot hit a Kasari warrior in the neck, the one gap in the armor. The warrior fell. The others froze for a split second, surprised. They had not expected resistance. They had thought this would be easy. It was their mistake. Doyun fired again, and again, and again. Each shot was precise, aimed at weak points in the armor. Necks, joints, eye slits. He did not waste a single bullet. 3 Kasari fell before they could react. Then they reacted. Plasma bolts filled the air. Doyun dove to the side, still firing. A bolt grazed his shoulder, burning through fabric and skin. He did not scream. He just kept shooting. 4 down. 5 down. His magazine clicked empty. A Kasari warrior charged at him, shock blade raised. Doyun sidestepped and grabbed the blade arm with his good hand. He twisted, using the warrior's momentum against him. The Kasari stumbled. Doyun slammed his elbow into the warrior's neck joint. The warrior fell, 6 down, but there were more. So many more. They surrounded him now, shock blades crackling with energy. Plasma rifles aimed at his head. Doyun stood in the middle of them. Blood ran down his arm. His broken arm hung limp. His pistol was empty, useless. He had nothing left, and still he did not move. "Human," said one of the Kasari. Its voice was translated by a device on its armor, turning the clicks and hisses into words Doyun could understand. "You have fought well, for a lesser species. But this is over. Step aside. We only want the Nuri Queen." Doyun laughed. It was a broken sound, full of pain and exhaustion. But it was also defiant, undefeated. "No," he said. "No? I am not moving. You want her. You go through me." The Kasari tilted its head. "You would die for an alien? A stranger? Someone who is not even your own kind?" Yes, there was a pause. The Kasari warriors looked at each other. They did not understand. They could not understand. In their world, you fought for power, for glory, for survival. You did not fight for strangers. You did not die for people who could give you nothing in return. Humans are insane, the Kasari said finally. Maybe, Doyun agreed. But at least we are interesting. The Kasari raised its shock blade. Vila acted. She had been searching for a way out, just as Dohyun had told her. But there was no way out. No vent, no crack. Nothing but stone walls and death. So she had made a different choice. If she could not run, she would fight. She threw herself at the nearest Kasari, using her uninjured arm to grab its plasma rifle. The weapon came free, and she swung it like a club. The Kasari staggered. Vela smashed the rifle into its helmet. The helmet cracked. The other Kasari turned. They had not expected this. The injured queen, the dying alien, attacking them directly. It made no sense. It was not logical, but neither was a broken human standing in their way. Vila fired the plasma rifle. Her aim was not good. She had never used such a weapon before. But at this range, she did not need good aim. The plasma bolts tore through Kasari armor. One warrior fell. Then another Doyun moved. He grabbed a shock blade from a fallen Kasari and swung it at the nearest enemy. The blade cut through armor. The Kasari screamed and collapsed. They were fighting together now. Back to back. Human and Nuri. Soldier and queen. Two broken creatures against an army. They could not win. They both knew it. But they fought anyway. A Kasari blade caught Do-Yoon in the side. He grunted but did not fall. He swung his own blade and took the warrior's arm off. Blood sprayed, black Kasari blood, thick and dark. Vela's leg gave out. She fell to her knees, still firing. 3 more Kasari went down. 4 enemies left. 3. 2.1. The last Kasari warrior stood before them. It was the leader, the one who had spoken. Its armor was damaged, but it was still standing. Still dangerous. Do-Yoon could barely stand. He was covered in blood, his own and Kasari. His side was torn open. His arm was useless. He should have been dead 10 times over, but he was still on his feet. "You are remarkable," the Kasari leader said. Its voice held something new. Respect, maybe. Or fear. Both of you. I have never seen anything like this. Then you have not been paying attention, Do-Yoon said. This is what humans do. We fight for each other. We die for each other. And when we fall, others rise to take our place. Your species is young, weak, unimportant. Not anymore. The Kasari raised its blade. Do-Yoon raised his. They faced each other across the blood-soaked floor. "One of us will die," the Kasari said. "Yeah," Do-Yoon agreed. "But it will not be her." He attacked. The Kasari was faster, stronger, better trained. Its blade moved like lightning, slicing through the air where Do-Yoon had been a moment before. But Do-Yoon was not there. He had dropped low under the swing and thrust his blade upward, into the gap at the Kasari's throat. The warrior fell. Silence. Do-Hyun stood alone in a room full of bodies. 12 Kasari warriors. All dead. All killed by a broken human and a dying queen. He turned to Vila. She was still on her knees, the plasma rifle fallen from her hands. Her 4 eyes were wide with shock. "You did it," she whispered. "You actually did it." Do-Hyun tried to smile, but his body had finally reached its limit. His legs gave out, and he collapsed beside her. "We did it," he corrected. "Together." Vila crawled to him. She took his head in her hands and looked at his wounds. They were bad. Very bad. He was losing blood faster than his body could replace it. "You need medical attention," she said. "Well, come unit," he gasped. "My belt." "Call the shuttle." She found the unit and pressed the button. Static. Then a voice. "Sergeant Park? Is that you? We have been trying to contact you for days. What is your status?" "This is not Sergeant Park," Vela said. "This is Queen Vila of the Nuri Empire. Sergeant Park is injured. Critical condition. He needs immediate extraction." A pause. Then, "Queen Vila? The Queen Vila? But you are dead. The whole galaxy thinks you are dead."